I had my first croque monsieur at a local bakery in Ottawa, and I'd never had it before, and I wondered what it was, and it just changed my life. So if you haven't had it before, you have to try it, especially if you love ham and grilled cheeses. And for any leftover ham from Thanksgiving, this will be perfect. So we'll first get started by making a quick bechamel sauce. I have a pan here heating up. I'm going to add some butter to melt, and then as that happens, add in my flour. Whisk, and just briefly get the pan off the heat. And I'm gonna add in a touch of garlic powder and onion powder in here. Whisk that up, and now back on the heat. And now we'll cook out this roux until it just smells fragrant and nutty, and it'll be awesome. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Now add in a touch of milk and whisk. A touch more milk and whisk. Touch more milk. Basically, every time the milk starts to bubble like this, that's when it's going to start to thicken, and as it becomes thicker, you can finish adding in your milk. Season with a bit of fresh nutmeg, a touch of salt, a touch of black pepper. You can use white pepper if you want. We just are gonna cook this out until the sauce has become thick, like a classic bechamel. Then when it's getting nice and thick just like this, you can see the texture, add in a splash of table cream. Mix that in. Okay, so thickness should be coating the back of a spoon, and when you streak it, it should not pour down. This is perfect. So I'm gonna use a combination of Emmental cheese, Gruyere cheese, and old white cheddar. And that's just because I'm that indecisive. Because I know all of these would go great in a croque monsieur, and I've experimented before with it. But I just can't pick one to go with. So if you have a favorite, you want just Gruyere, just use that throughout the sandwich. I'm gonna mix and match with these 3 cheeses. So start assembling the sandwich by adding a touch of Dijon mustard on each of those slices, and then add in some of your bechamel on it. Do that on each one of them. Now add in some Gruyere and some Emmental on here. I've done the same on this one, so a layer of Gruyere and Emmental, and then a thin layer of ham. Today I'm using a smoked ham, and you can just pick your favorite type, like applewood or maple even would be great. So now we'll take these guys and butter it up and toast it on our pan. My pan is on medium heat, and you can just melt some butter on there and then add your sandwich to toast it. Just mop up the butter on one side. Now a fish spatula is great to handle the sandwiches. So I'm gonna take a look at the first one. It's looking beautiful. So take that out, add more butter, and then return the sandwich back into the pan, butter it up, and now we'll continue to cook both of these sandwiches until they are golden brown and perfect on each side. So you're gonna need to make sure that your pan is not too hot. If it's too hot, that butter will crispen up and color the bread before the cheese has a chance to melt in the middle. So medium heat is perfect. Anything that's just browning your bread too quickly, you will know it, and at that point just turn the heat down, let the pan cool down, and you'll be good. So the croque monsieur is ready to be topped now. Add in another layer of bechamel right on top. And I'll top that with the remaining Gruyere, Emmental, and a touch of white cheddar as well. And now I'm gonna broil this until that cheese is nicely molten. And what's really cool about the origin of Croque Monsieur and Croque Madame is they have really interesting backstories, and a lot of it is kind of ambiguous. There's so many different roots for this recipe, but the common ones are Croque Monsieur, is also known as Crispy Man, because apparently at a cafe or something, the customer who was having the sandwich asked the chef whose meat, like what meat is in there, and the person attending to the customer was like, "Oh, it's the butcher's, it's his meat." So Croque Monsieur. I know it's weird, but for Croque Madame, the egg on top with the yolk and the white, it's supposed to signify a hat, a woman's hat. I think around the 60s or the 50s, which is, I think, a bit cooler and nicer than the Croque Monsieur. Now, when I had a Croque Monsieur for the first time, it was served with a nice crispy potato cake. Now, it's so good, and I tried making it, but if you want to see it, let me know down below and I'll try to prioritize that for the upcoming video. And here is your Croque Monsieur. And on this side is our Croque Madame. Now for the egg that's going to be on top of the Croque Madame, it depends on how you like your eggs. If you want your yolk to be runny, then you don't really need to cover it that much. But if you want your yolk to be completely cooked, just the way that I want it, I'm gonna just cover the lid, and until the yolk of that egg has had a light white coating, which just means that it's just completely cooked. And you can see here, it just looks awesome. I'm gonna top my Croque Monsieur with some freshly chopped chives. So I hope you had a good time making the Croque Monsieur and Croque Madame. Madame's gonna be my favorite one because of that egg, and I just love the egg. Just yellow, creamy, but not runny at all in this case. And for more videos just like this, be sure to hit subscribe, hit that bell icon, and let me know what you want to see next. And if this got you into thinking about grilled cheese, then why not click on these recipes over here. See you on the next one.